Okay, imagine this. You step into a new job, incredibly lucrative, really exciting,
Yeah.
and then boom, it immediately plunges you into this hidden global war.
Wow. Okay.
We're talking shadowy financiers, secret intelligence agencies, and yeah, a mysterious ancient organization that's wielding untold wealth.
That is quite the first week on the job.
Right. That's the dizzying reality we're exploring today, and it's all drawn directly from the pages of The Cry of the Halidon.
Yeah, this source material, it really is a master class in how power operates just beneath the surface.
So what's the mission for this deep dive?
Well, our deep dive today is really all about extracting those surprising insights, you know, how power is truly wielded when you've got corporate interests, government intelligence, and these secret societies not just coexisting, but actually colliding.
And all against this backdrop of a seemingly tranquil Caribbean island.
Exactly. Deceptively tranquil.
So you'll witness one man's struggle, trying to navigate these conflicting allegiances, uncovering just astonishing truths.
And ultimately, having to define his own moral compass when the stakes are, well, global.
It definitely challenges your assumptions about how power works. I think you're in for some genuinely surprising revelations about who might really be pulling the strings. So let's start at the beginning. Our journey begins with Alexander McAuliff. He's an independent geologist, highly sought after, top of his field. And he gets this offer. It seems almost too good to be true.
The classic setup.
It really is. An exceptionally lucrative contract from Dunstone Limited.
And Dunstone is huge, right? One of the largest corporations on the international market.
Exactly. And the job. A highly confidential survey in the unmapped cockpit territory of Jamaica.
Unmapped territory confidential survey. Red flags already.
And the confidentiality, yeah, it's stressed from the very first call.
But what's immediately unsettling, I mean, almost before he can even pack his bags,
Yeah.
while McAuliff is still in London, he gets this unexpected visitor, R.C. Holcroft.
From British intelligence MI5, so not exactly a welcome wagon.
Not at all. And Holcroft doesn't waste time. He basically reveals Dunstone's true nature.
Which is?
It's not just some industrial development company. It's the corporate headquarters for these international financiers.
Okay.
And their goal, building global cartels, completely beyond the control of major governments like Washington, London, Berlin, Paris.
Whoa. Beyond their control. How?
Their audacious goal, believe it or not, is to reduce these sovereign nations to mere clients.
Clients? That's staggering. Almost sounds like conspiracy talk. How does the book suggest they plan to achieve that?
Well, it's not just about financial muscle, though they certainly have that. What emerges is this strategy of subtle infiltration.
Okay.
Gaining leverage over political and economic institutions bit by bit, creating independence, really, until governments have no choice but to become clients.
So less like a hostile takeover, more like a slow financial strangulation.
Exactly, an insidious global financial chokehold. And the plot thickens for McAuliff personally, because Holcroft then reveals something else. What's the previous Dunstone survey team in Jamaica? They just vanished, disappeared, and they're believed to be dead.
Oh, great. So the job offer comes with a potential death sentence.
Pretty much. And it immediately raises that chilling question. Why? What did they find? Or what were they stopped from finding?
And it gets even more mysterious, right? Holcroft drops this word, Halidon.
Yeah, Halidon. He says it's unknown, but terribly important.
Terribly important, vague, and ominous.
And British intelligence, MI5, wants to make contact with whatever or whoever the Halidon is.
Okay, so McAuliff is now caught between Dunstone and MI5.
And then comes the real kicker. Holcroft tells him he's been under continuous surveillance since Dunstone first contacted him.
So no escaping this.
None. He's told he has no choice but to cooperate with MI5.
Yeah.
And without their protection, he'd be in extreme jeopardy.
Wow. What an explosive way to start a new job, trapped from the get-go.
It really highlights that golden handcuff idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just the money calling him in.
No, it's immediate leverage.
Exactly. These powerful clandestine groups, they can gain this undeniable leverage over specialized individuals like McAuliff. His expertise makes him valuable, but also uniquely vulnerable.
Yeah, his dream job instantly becomes a trap.
Precisely.
So Holcroft's chilling ultimatum is hanging over him. McAuliff's now irrevocably part of this hidden conflict. First step, he needs a team.
Right. But even assembling a team isn't straightforward. It's steeped in deception.
Starting with the cover story for the expedition itself.
Yeah, it's disguised as a grant, supposedly from the British government, funneled through the University of London and the Royal Historical Society.
And neither of those institutions knows who's really bankrolling it.
Nope. They're completely unaware of Dunstone's actual financial backing. Classic intelligence maneuver.
Right.
A legit-looking cover for something not so legit.
And the team itself sounds like a recipe for disaster. A complex web.
Oh, absolutely. It perfectly mirrors the bigger struggle. Everyone he recruits brings more than just their professional skills.
Okay, like who?
We'll take Peter and Ruth Jensen. Married geologist couple. Seem professional, right?
Uh-huh.
Secretly Dunstone operatives, reporting McAuliff's every move back to Dunstone, specifically to a guy named Julian Warfield. They're even bribing locals for info. Warfield's eyes and ears on the ground.
Wow. Okay, who else?
Then there's James Ferguson, young botanist. Seems a bit, scatterbrained.
Yeah. Don't tell me he's a spy, too.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
Working for something called the Kraft Foundation.
Another player.
Yep. Spying on the survey. He even messed with McAuliff's luggage. Left this note suggesting he'd been drinking heavily. All a ploy to bug his hotel room.
Clever. Devious.
And what's really interesting is Ferguson has dirt on the head of the Kraft Foundation, Kraft Jr.
Yeah.
Information he can leverage, so he's got his own power play going on.
This is getting complicated. Anyone trustworthy on this team?
Well, it gets more complex before it gets simpler. There's Charles Whitehall.
The Jamaican historian, renowned scholar.
Brilliant, yes, but also described as having aggressively self-perpetuating ambition and this hot mysticism of the fanatic.
Oh, boy.
He has his own vision for Jamaica's future, almost messianic. He joins partly for ego fulfillment, but also sees this chaos as a chance to challenge the existing power structures.
So he's got his own agenda, too. Anyone else?
Alison Booth, highly qualified shale bedrock analyst.
Okay, her specialty seems relevant. Maybe she's just there for the geology. Shale bedrock hints at maybe oil or gas, something Dunstone might want.
That's a good point about the potential resources. But no, she's not just a geologist either. She's secretly an Interpol agent.
Interpol, International Police. Okay, so this involves serious global crime then.
Definitely. Her presence is deliberate cross-pollination, as the source calls it. She's basically bait.
Bait for who?
To lure out the Marquis de Chatellerault. He's a financier, suspected Dunstone associate, and apparently involved in a major narcotics network.
Narcotics, too. This web just keeps expanding.
And Alison knows the danger. She carries a lethal gas cylinder for self-protection. That tells you everything about the stakes.
Okay, is anyone on McAuliff's side?
Finally, yes. Sam Tucker. McAuliff's longtime friend, trusted colleague, powerful, resourceful guy. His loyalty to Alex seems solid.
Thank goodness for Sam Tucker. Wait, didn't she say he disappears?
Yes. Yeah. His unexpected disappearance early on in Montego Bay becomes a key mystery, adds another layer of danger and uncertainty for McAuliff.
So with a team like this, spies, fanatics, agents, friends who vanish, how does anyone, especially McAuliff, build any kind of trust? Or is trust another commodity to be traded?
I think that's exactly the question the story forces you to ask. This team, it's a microcosm of the whole global power struggle.
Right.
The lines between corporate, intelligence, academic, even criminal, they're completely blurred. Everyone has an agenda, a secret loyalty.
So trust is incredibly fragile, maybe impossible.
And deception becomes the main currency.
Yeah.
McAuliff, as the leader, is basically navigating a minefield, blindfolded almost.
Okay, so from London, the action shifts fully to Jamaica. This is where the Halidon secrets start to really unravel, right?
Yeah, and one of the first big clues comes through tragedy. Dr. Walter Pearsall.
The American anthropologist you mentioned, the hit and run?
Exactly. He had deep knowledge of Jamaica, researching the Arawak Indians, but crucially, he was piecing together this puzzle about the Halidon.
Implying his death wasn't an accident. He knew too much.
That's the strong implication. McAuliff, now hyper-aware of the stakes, contacts someone named Westmore Talon, an arthritic fish store owner in Kingston. But, surprise, surprise, he's actually a key British intelligence liaison.
Of course he is. Everyone's undercover.
Seems like it. And Talon confirms something vital, Pearsall's car. It was used by the men who took Sam Tucker's belongings after he disappeared.
Ah, connecting the dots.
And also by men who were following McAuliff himself. So Pearsall's death, Tucker's disappearance, the surveillance on McAuliff, it's all linked. The threat is real and omnipresent.
And what about the name itself? Halidon. Does Pearsall's research shed light on that?
It does. Through his hidden papers, McAuliff finally deciphers it.
And
It comes from 3 ancient African Ashanti words. One of them, Lee-daw, translates to a hollowed-out piece of wood.
okay. Like an instrument.
Exactly, a primitive wind instrument used for long-distance communication in the jungle.
Wow. So the name itself points to ancient tribal roots, hidden communication, a clandestine past.
Precisely. It's a powerful link. And this knowledge eventually leads McAuliff into the cockpit territory itself,
The impenetrable jungle.
where he finally discovers the hidden community of the Halidon. They call themselves the Tribe of Aqaba.
Okay, so they're real. What are they like?
He meets Daniel, their Minister of Council, and Daniel reveals their great riches, a massive gold vein within their land, formed by ancient geologic upheavals.
Gold. Okay, that explains a lot. This isn't just some isolated tribe.
Not even close. They are an incredibly sophisticated, significant, and ancient financial power, operating under the radar for centuries.
How do they operate financially? I mean, a hidden tribe with global reach.
They run a sophisticated global network, moving capital through what they call the Afro-axis, using legitimate banks like Barclays alongside less transparent channels in Ghana,
Okay.
and also an Indochina axis involving entities like Baldazzi Pharmaceuticals and the Bank of Constantine.
So their network is vast, embedded in both legitimate and covert finance, makes them incredibly hard to trace.
Exactly. Daniel explains their mission. They're the silent caretakers of their land and heritage. They use their wealth to do what we can quietly without the world knowing.
But there's a warning, right?
Oh, yes. A chilling one. Yeah. Daniel makes it clear they are not fools. They will kill to protect the vaults of Aqaba.
Vaults of Aqaba, referring to the gold.
Presumably the gold, their land, their entire way of life. He says they would even destroy themselves and their wealth if the outside world interferes.
So this isn't just defense, it's total sovereignty, absolute resolve.
It completely flips the script on geopolitics, doesn't it? The Halidon aren't just reacting. They've been operating strategically, cautiously, for centuries. And now that they're threatened,
they're ready to act.
With surgical precision and absolute conviction.
And act they do. Because the next phase is escalation, right? Daniel delivers an ultimatum to Holcroft at MI5.
He does. A chilling one. The Halidon, he says, have a list of Dunstone associates. They demand their elimination. Just like that. He tells Holcroft to pay the price, meaning stand aside and salvage what you can from Dunstone.
Wow. Asking MI5 to basically condone assassination.
Or at least not interfere. And what happens next is immediate, brutal, global. Exactly as Daniel promised. The world, or at least certain parts of it, braces for impact. A coordinated global purge erupts. It's a terrifying display of the Halidon's reach.
Where do they strike?
London gets hit hard. 4 major figures, a director of Lloyd's Bank, an inland revenue official, 2 members of parliament. Varied methods: sniper fire, dynamited cars, strychnine poisoning and martinis, knife attacks, ruthless efficiency.
And elsewhere.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
The undersecretary of the budget is shot while jogging.
Just like that. High-level targets.
And closer to home, in Jamaica.
Yeah.
The Marquis de Chatellerault.
The Dunstone associate. The narcotics guy Alison Booth was bait for.
The very same. Ambushed and killed at a private airfield. This confirms it. The Halidon aren't bluffing. Their intervention is direct, lethal, and way beyond conventional capabilities.
It's breathtaking. If they can hit London and Washington like that, McAuliff's team must be in extreme danger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that pressure starts to crack the team wide open, reveals who's really playing for which side.
Like the Jensens, the Dunstone spies.
Right. Peter Jensen gets orders from Julian Warfield, the Dunstone handler, to kill McAuliff.
Oh, God.
But instead, Jensen shoots Warfield.
He kills his own boss. Wow. So even he had a line he wouldn't cross.
Apparently so. And interestingly, the Halidon then allow the Jensens to just escape.
They let them go. Why?
Maybe a code of conduct. Or maybe they were no longer a threat with Warfield dead. Later, British intelligence also lets them leave the island. It's murky.
What about Ferguson, the craft spy?
He tries to cash in, leverages knowledge for money, but Halidon scouts intercept him, hold him, they neutralize him before he can expose the survey. Efficient.
So the Halidon are cleaning house, managing threats.
Precisely. Which leads to the climax in the cockpit. The showdown.
Dunstone attacks the camp.
Dunstone forces, yeah. Including some MI5 defectors who've switched sides. It gets ugly.
And this is where Sam Tucker.
Yeah. McAuliff's loyal friend. He bravely holds off the attackers, tells McAuliff to get Alison to safety. The implication is strong that he doesn't make it.
Got a huge personal loss for McAuliff in all this chaos.
Definitely. And we also see a Halidon revolutionary, Lawrence, in action. He demonstrates just lethal combat skills defending the team. Shows their own military capability.
And what about McAuliff himself? How does he react?
He undergoes this profound change. It's not just about observation anymore.
Survival mode kicks in.
Big time. Driven by desperation, needing to protect the team, he gets into brutal hand-to-hand combat. He confronts those MI5 defectors himself.
So we see this hidden capacity for violence emerge.
Yeah, he's no longer just a geologist caught in the middle. He's a survivor, fully immersed in the brutal reality of this hidden war.
This whole sequence, it just hammers home the Halidon's power, doesn't it? Their reach, their decisiveness.
Unequivocally, global assassinations, neutralizing spies, defending their territory, they act with total impunity. Daniel's explanation is stark. It was necessary to protect their way of life, their resources, from the outside world's corruption.
A brutal lesson in absolute power, wielded with absolute conviction.
Absolutely.
So after the dust settles, what's the final fallout? What happens to all these players?
Well, Dunstone Limited is effectively crippled. Their network exposed, key operator Julian Warfield dead. Targeted assassinations, they took a massive hit.
And British intelligence, MI5, Holcroft.
They're forced to acknowledge the Halidon exist and wield immense power. They have to adapt their strategies now, knowing this hidden force is out there. Holcroft survives, but likely shaken.
What about the Kraft Foundation, the other spy network?
Neutralized as a threat to the survey, at least for now. Ferguson's got that compromising info on Kraft Jr., which likely keeps them quiet.
Then Charles Whitehall, the ambitious historian.
He survives. His political future in Jamaica is still uncertain, but he tactically aligned himself with the Halidon, seeing them as a means to achieve his own vision, an opportunist to the end.
What about Barack Moore, the other revolutionary figure?
He's severely wounded. His fate is a bit ambiguous, but his faction still exists. Suggests the underlying tensions in Jamaica aren't just going to disappear.
And the man at the center of it all, Alexander McAuliff.
He's fundamentally changed, forced to confront this world operating completely outside the rules he knew. He's not just a geologist anymore.
He's a survivor.
A survivor who understands the true, often bloody, price of knowledge and power.
And there's a surprising positive outcome for him, right? A new beginning.
There is. He and Alison Booth, having gone through this hell together, they forged this deep bond. Trust, affection built in that crucible.
So
they decide to establish their own joint surveying company. McAuliff and Booth. Surveyors, offices, London and New York.
Wow. So it signals a professional partnership, but also something more personal. Resilience.
Exactly. A new horizon built on the ashes of that ordeal.
What an incredible deep dive that was, seriously. From just a simple job offer.
Right, to being plunged into this covert global war, exposing these hidden networks of power that, truly shape our world.
It really makes you think. This deep dive shows how a legitimate-seeming corporation like Dunstone could be a front for something far more sinister.
And how even established intelligence agencies like MI5 might be playing by rules you just never imagined. Or maybe finding themselves completely outplayed.
It definitely raises that question. In a world where entire nations can supposedly be reduced to clients, and these ancient secret societies are pulling global strings, how much of what you think is happening is actually what's going on?
Yeah, how much do we really see?
And that final thought, if the Halidon, with their silent wealth, their centuries of planning, their absolute resolve, if they really represent a power beyond the imaginations of the outside world, what other unacknowledged forces might be out there, shaping our reality, patiently waiting for their moment, ready to protect their own vaults of Aquabo?
That is definitely a thought worth holding on to long after this deep dive concludes. A chilling possibility.